I loved what you guys wrote. It was really fun to see how you define modern dance based on the video and whatever else you knew. There were a lot of common threads. I'll read some of the highlights because there was quite a lot of good thoughts here. So people defined modern dance. I think some people are chiming in, so hold on. Wow, Nicholas, that's quite a screensaver.
Thank you.
So this is just some of the highlights of how folks define modern dance. To express yourself, pushing the limits, inspiration that comes from within. The artists were in control of defining their own meaning and their own art. About the artists and what messages they were trying to convey. Contemporary voice is the dance of a new era. I love that one. And then based on a certain choreographer, inspiration from their own life, art as a self-expression through movement, the mind and body working at the same time. It has no boundaries or rules. Wanting to be able to move freely, matching the dancer's feelings and emotions. Movements can consist of gesture, walking, or running. That was a good one. Expressing myself, redefining the rules. There are no rules. Not limited by music or storytelling, to move freely. Requires a lot of strength, alignment, and balance. Dance in theater, to tell a story based on movements such as natural gestures like walking and running. So all that stuff was really cool. That was like really great to see how you guys defined it. And as you can see, the definition is very broad. And as we progress in the semester, you'll look at some video of people doing amazing things that you wouldn't think would be anything related to dance. So it's kind of fun to see how each time the definition gets broader and broader. But that was a great start for everybody. It was really great to see what folks, how they looked at it and what they got from even just the video. And we'll probably look at it again and maybe redefine it and see what we think at the end of the semester and see what else we understand it to be. So it's kind of cool to see how that starts. I've never done that before, so I think that was a good start to the semester. So I don't know if you've seen the next assignment that's due on Friday. This will be for our Thursday class. The next assignment is for you to define what you feel you're going to work on for self-care, because as we all know, as dancers, you have to stay healthy and strong to be able to express yourself. So I want you to think a little bit about and write 2 paragraphs this time about what you are going to think about, what you're thinking about self-care, what it means to you, what are the things that you want to think about doing this fall to make sure you stay healthy and well, mentally, physically, psychologically, spiritually. What are the things that have been kind of in the back of your mind that will be good, and what steps might you take to implement those? So to do it, to take it from the back of your mind and to bring it to the front of your mind and make it a little bit more conscious, and then maybe even kind of motivate you to take steps to do whatever it might be. I can tell you a little bit about what I do if you're interested.
Yes.
So for me, self-care, mostly for me, it's physical. I focus on the physical quite a bit because of, I dance in the body and not everything. So for me, it's, for everything from just taking care of, my health, eating as well as I can, trying really hard to get enough sleep, which is a real challenge for me. I think a lot of people have that challenge. I try to take my vitamins. If I start to feel I'm getting a sore throat, I'll boil some fresh ginger, which is a real vitamin C boost, which is really good to keep myself from getting sick. If I start to feel like I'm getting sick, I try to take some herbs and some other good stuff that I know always picks up my system. Apples and oranges, I always try to have those in the fridge so I can grab them when I start to feel run down. So for me, it's a lot about what I eat, getting enough sleep, taking those extra things that boost my immune system, taking probiotics, because that in your gut's really good for your immune system. And also, just trying to stay connected to the people in my life, making time to talk to family and friends. especially now that we're not seeing them as often. That's important, really important to me. So those are just some of the things I do. So feel free to, talk about that kind of stuff, or also, maybe there's other things, other aspects of it too that are important to you. So it's so great to see we have 3 new class members today. So welcome to the class. Stick around for a few minutes at the end. Song and a few others. Do you have class right after this? Do you have to rush off? Do you have like maybe 5 minutes at the end afterwards? We can talk for a little bit. Okay, good. So let's talk. We'll talk about the syllabus. Hopefully you got that from Blackboard. If not, and I think I emailed it around to everybody. So your assignments due Friday 9 a.m. And it was great, you guys, because everybody turned their assignments in on time this week, and that was excellent. I'm really, really pleased with that. So let's keep that up, and that was great. And let's see, so we're gonna pick up where we left off with the movement. Any questions on the assignment or anything else before we start? No, okay. So we're gonna pick up with where we left off with the movement just a little bit. I don't know, do you guys have a foam roller, any of you? I have a few things I like to do with the foam roller before I start dancing. If anybody has their foam roller, go ahead and get it. So for me, I like to run it over my leg muscles. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. I'll move back just a little bit. But I like to run this over my leg muscles to try and kind of loosen things up, especially first thing in the morning. And then I have something else that I got on Amazon, really cheap, which is called a massage stick. And this is just something where, this is actually really a lifesaver. You can just run it over the different muscles that are tight, like this. So I highly recommend this because I usually go to the massage therapist and get some body work every now and then, and I haven't been able to do that for months. So it's been a real lifesaver to have this. So I recommend doing those things, or even just take a moment and see where the tight places are and just rub your shoulders a little bit. If you have any sore spots, just take a minute to kind of loosen up. And let's move our shoulders around in a circle. And I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and pin myself so that you can see me, even if other people speak. There we go. And I just learned how to do that, so I'm excited. So here we go. We'll go ahead and tilt the neck to one side. Give it a little stretch. And we'll move kind of slow at first. So if you have a lot of dance experience, be patient because we will pick up the pace as we go along. But I want to go slow and easy because I know we have a lot of folks who don't have as much dance experience. Oh, sorry, did somebody say something? And now go ahead and look to the left. And look to the right, and look to the left, and look to the right, and go ahead and send the head in a circle all the way around, twice in one direction, and then we'll reverse it. And now go twice in the other direction. And now go ahead and bring your arms out. We call this second position. And what you're going to do is squeeze your shoulder blades together. Try to keep your arms the same and just squeeze the shoulder blades. So what I'm doing in my back is I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. So just go ahead and squeeze the shoulder blades together. And this is going to build strength in your back. So posturally, a lot of us spend a lot of time like this, unfortunately, and as you get older, your muscles get used to being in that position. So by squeezing and creating strength back here, you're actually creating those muscles that help you stand up straight, which you'll be really glad for when you get older. Because a lot of back pain comes from that strain on the lower back from doing that kind of stuff. The next thing I want you to do, we're gonna stretch out our pectoral muscles. So just take a minute and just massage in the pectoral muscles just before the armpit. We're gonna stretch those muscles out by clasping our hands together and stretching back as far as you can. And now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go and find a doorway, and you're gonna put your arms in a goalpost shape like this. You're gonna go in the doorway and you're gonna lunge forward and you're gonna stretch out those pectoral muscles. So just take 1 minute to do that and then come back. So find a doorway in your house, and I'll put the camera on myself so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm in my doorway and I'm putting my arms back here, and now I'm gonna lunge forward in the doorway. And I'm stretching out the pectoral muscles, so I'm putting just enough pressure leading through the doorway to stretch those out. And then once I've done that one, I'm gonna stand in the doorway and put both hands here and do the same. As I stretch, I'm gonna squeeze the scapula in the back, just like we were doing with our arms out straight. So I'm gonna squeeze behind also as I stretch forward. And that's gonna give my arms a nice stretching out to put my alignment and posture in the right place to start. How did that go? Did that feel different?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this stretch one more time and see if it feels a little different with the arms behind. See if it feels a little bit looser. I can feel my left shoulder really tight. So I'm glad I did that. Let's go ahead and work the shoulders a little bit. And then we'll go ahead and bring the whole arm up and reach behind. Now, hopefully the pecs are a little bit looser so we have a little more range. One more time with the right arm, and pulse and reach back. And pulse with the left and reach back. And one more time. And now we're going to bring the foot up and just stretch the leg forward. And it's okay if you don't have the flexibility to hold the leg up, you can bring it down to the floor. You can do it like this, or you can do it up here. And if you tilt the foot in, sickle it like I'm doing, you'll get the outer edge. If you want to just stretch the back of the calf, then you can just bring it nice and straight. And then we'll switch to the left leg. Start it down here and reach forward. And it's better to keep the leg straight. Only lift the leg if you can keep it straight. And now reaching forward, reach to the toes. See if you can flex the feet. So show me the soles of your feet. And let's reach across to the right. And reach across to the left. And reach across to the right. And reach across to the left. And then come on up to a nice straight sitting up. And we're going to put our weight on the hand, but we're going to keep both sits bones. We're going to keep both cheeks on the floor. And we're just going to reach over. And then we're going to switch. Think of it as a really nice tall hand that's reaching as high as you can go, and then send that across. And I'm putting weight on my left arm, whichever arm is down. It's confusing in Zoom to tell whether people are doing right and left because I think it flips it around somehow. So just do the best you can. Whichever side you start, just make sure you always stretch the other side. And then let's curve forward. I think we might have done this the other day. Curve forward, and we're going to go into an upper back arch where you get to use those scapula muscles to see the ceiling. And then come back to center. And then we're going to open to the side, reaching nice and high. Reach across. This time I'm going to the left side first, but you can go either way. And reaching to the right, or whichever side you didn't just do. And stretching all the way around. And now go into that upper back arch again. And now we're going to cross the legs. You can put the right leg in front or the left leg in front, whichever one you prefer. And reach over. And reach to the other side. Good. And then all the way around. And we're going to go into that upper back arch. And now we're going to go ahead and bring our knees up bent, almost like you're hugging your knees in around. And we're going to reach forward and we're going to try to slowly lower ourselves into a flat position. So I'll do it this way so you can see what I'm doing. So we're just going to, this is a good, not so bad, like sit up, but not quite as hard. We're going to roll down, just go as slow as you can, reaching the energy forward. And just lower yourself as slow as you can go. And at a certain point, you may have to let it go. And then we're just going to reach both legs straight and send this leg up and just let it stretch. I'm flexing the foot rather than pointing. I have it in a flexed position. And then I'm going to send it across the body. So in this case, I have my right leg going toward my left side. If you have your left leg up, send it toward your right side. And then we're just going to open it out. Trying to keep both legs straight, and I'm trying to keep the opposite. If it's my right leg, I'm trying to keep my left hip on the floor, so I'm not letting it go all the way. And I'm trying to stretch the inner thigh now. And then I'm going to cross the leg over like this and reach in and just do a little stretch. This is an easy stretch for the right leg and the right thigh. Now we'll unravel the legs and straighten both legs this time, whichever leg you didn't do. In my case, I did the right, so now I'm going to lift up the left leg. And just stretch it out. I have both feet flexed, which means they're at a right degree angle to my leg. And I'm going to send it across, sending my left leg across toward my right side. And I'm going to open it out to the side. This time I'm sending the left leg onto the left side. And I'm using my arm against the floor to kind of brace my weight to keep that right hip down. And then I'm going to bring it in, and I'm going to send it across And just do an easy, gentle stretch. Do it really carefully. You don't have to do it too hard because we're not totally warm up yet. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. All right, now let that go. Take just a minute and have your knees bent with your legs down. See if you can feel the belly button pulling toward the spine, and that brings the lower back in contact with the floor, so there's no space between the back and the floor. And then find that space where the leg meets the hip, and just press the leg away. Feel your lower back lengthen on the floor. So you're literally pressing the hips, the legs away from the torso, and lengthening your spine. And let's go ahead and drop our legs to one side, and we'll just swing the leg forward. And we're going to drop it to the other side and swing the leg. Try to keep my toes in contact with the floor. And now just fan the legs around and roll onto your belly. And we're just going to do a nice little stretch from the psoas. Just come up just a little bit. And from here, we're going to keep rolling if you have space. Whichever way you can do it, come on up to standing. And let's go ahead and reach down to the floor and just stretch over forward with our legs in second position. I'm turning my toes in just a little bit because I like to get the outer edge of my calf muscle. So as you can see, we do a lot of stretching to get the body limbered up to do what we want to do in modern dance. It's very important. We're going to do one more psoas stretch, which I think we did at the end of class last time. Now this is where you do the lunge. You're lunging on the left leg. You can use a wall or a chair or something to brace yourself if you need the help to balance. I've got my right leg nice and straight behind me, and my left leg is bent, and I'm reaching the right arm up, and then I'm leaning away from the straight leg. And hopefully you feel a little bit of a stretch right through that hip area. Our psoas muscle gets really tight from sitting. It's the muscle that allows us to lift our leg up. And with sitting every day, it gets very tight. And now go ahead and switch. You're going to bend the right leg, have the left leg nice and straight, and you're going to lean away from the left leg. Whichever leg you choose, lean away from the straight leg and lean toward the bent leg that's in the lunge. Good. Come on back and tell me how that went.
It felt nice.
How was that? Did you feel like you could get there? Was there anything that was unclear?
No.
Any questions? It was hard for me when I was on the floor because I was looking at the ceiling. It was hard for me to tell how that was going for folks. Any questions about any of those? If you're raising your hand, do this, because I won't see it necessarily because I'm not really good with following the chat. I see something in the chat. Let's see what's going on. I can't hear you from Josemi. Maybe, were you able to hear me talking when I was lying on the floor?
Yes.
So?
Yes.
Was of my computer, I guess. So I just.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, good. If you can't hear me again, definitely holler out, take your mute off and holler out and let me know so that I can figure out if there's anything I can do to fix that. All right, good. So now we're going to do the plies that we did, but let's go over the positions. So we had our first position arms. Let me scooch back just a little so you can see. So this is the one that's like holding a baseball, and I try not to get my hands too high. My hands are opposite my belly button, and so it's almost like if you had water, it could run downward because you've got your hands lower than your shoulders. So definitely, you don't want to have the hands up here because it throws your back. So bring the hands lower. And then we can open up to first, this is second, that was first position, this is second position. And again, I really try not to go all the way back, but I really want to keep it in front. Take a moment and you're looking to see your fingers and you're sort of just wiggle your fingers and you should be able to see them looking straight ahead. You should be able to see them in your peripheral vision. If you can't see your fingers, then your arms are too far back. Because what that does is it throws off our alignment. So you really want to have the hands in front. It's sort of an illusion because when you look at it from the front, it looks like you're way back, but you're really not. It's kind of a trick with the eye. So you really want, and again, you want your hands lower than your shoulders for sure. So then that's our first position, and then we go up to fifth position, which I don't know if you can see. Let me tilt my screen a little bit better. So then from there, we're up to fifth position. And again, I can still see my fingers in my peripheral vision. See how far forward? If I look this way, you can still see my face. So you don't want to have your hands all the way back here. It's really pretty far forward because when you go onto releve, onto your toes, this helps keep you in balance. If you're too far back, then you're going to fall backwards. So if you're falling backwards when you go into releve, you might want to bring your hands and arms a little bit more forward. So think of that as being in front. So let's go through the positions. Maybe take a look from the side if you can see yourself. And you're going to go first position, second position, and fifth position. And we'll go back down to first position, second position, and fifth position. One more time. And first position, second position, and fifth position. On your own now, first position, second position, and fifth position. Good, excellent, excellent. That's it, exactly. So those are the arms we're going to use while we're doing plie. So let's go ahead and stand up. And I'm going to keep the camera focused on my feet for a moment so we can look at what's happening there. So we have three positions we're going to do our plies in. We've got parallel position, and that's literally where the feet are completely parallel, not out a little bit, but really strictly parallel. When we do our demi-plie, which is the only kind of plie we do in this class, in some ballet classes you do something called grand plie. We don't really do that in modern. So what you're going to do is you're going to keep your heels on the floor. So just do a demi-plie with me. And you're going to keep your heels on the floor. So the heels never come up like that. They always stay on the floor. So you may not be able to bend very far, and that's fine, but you want to go all the way to the full depth until you feel like you're almost getting a stretch. That's how deep you want to go. And while you're doing that, you want to keep your pelvis dropping forward. So you don't want to go like that. What you want to do is just bend and keep the body up nice and straight, like that. So that's what we're aiming for in first position. That's parallel position. Now we're going to go, I'll show you the feet for first position. From parallel, just rock back onto the heels and open whatever distance is comfortable. Most people don't have first position like this, like the ballerinas. Most modern dancers have kind of a right angle with their feet. And then we do our plie. We keep our heels on the floor. So we just do our first position plie. The idea is to get the knees right over the toes. So if your knees are coming forward, take a look at what's going on there. Your knees are coming forward. Bring the toes in a little bit. You really want to line up the knees and the toes. That's very, very important because it's much better for your knees. So just take a look on both sides and see what amount of turning out you can do from the waist using the rotators, using those thighs you were stretching earlier. You want to rotate and turn out and bring the knees right over the toes, wherever that is for you. Good. And then our third position is second position, just like the second position arms, where the arms spread out. Same thing with the feet. Second position is when you step out to the side, and you're going to do a demi-plie. And you're just going to, you can go a little bit deeper in second position, but you want to make sure you keep those heels down. And if you feel that you could go a little further, I would say I have almost 2 feet, like 2 full 12-inch feet between my heels. So for some of you, you could step a little bit wider, I think. Step as wide as you go, as wide as you can. And just, yeah. And the other thing with this position, again, I don't want to leave the butt behind me, but I really just want to keep the back straight up and down as I do that. Good, so we're going to go through our whole series, but I wanted you to see, because I can't always do it in a way where you can see my whole body. I'll try to get back far enough, but I just want to make sure you can see me all the way through, at least know what we're doing. So we're going to start in parallel, and this is where you could go and turn on whatever music you want. Take just a quick minute and do that. Mute yourself if you're playing music, but you might want music to accompany yourself too. So go ahead and do that. So we're going to start in parallel position, and the arms are going to go first position, second position, and fifth, just like we were doing earlier. So we're going to go ahead and start by stretching up with the arms and releasing them forward and curving above the waist. We're going to do a demi-plie and then come up nice and straight. We're going to go to one side, and then we'll go to the other side. And then here's where the demi-plies come in. Demi-plie and open, and plie and straighten. Now my arms are in fifth. It's kind of hard to tell from the video. And then this is where I do the upper back arch, which I really want to hold on to my belly muscles. And I'm really only arching from the scapula up. So I'm not going all the way back, but just the upper back. So it's really just a very small movement here, and I'm going to see the ceiling. And then from here, I'm going to rise into releve, and remember my arms are in front, and I'm going to rise up and come down. We'll do that much. Go ahead and turn on your music, and let me see if I can put the computer where you can see my arms all the time. So I'm in parallel position, and here we go. So we're going to stretch up nice and tall, and release, and curve forward. And demi-plie, and stretching up, and now we're going to go to the side. And now we're going to go to the other side. You can go right or left. Just make sure you go both sides, one way or the other. And now demi-plie, and open the arms to second. And demi-plie, heels stay on the floor, and arms come up to fifth. Straighten the legs. And now we're going to go into that upper back arch. And now from here, you're going to rise up onto the toes, keeping those arms in front of you, and bring the arms down. And we'll do that whole sequence one more time. So clasp the hands, stretch up nice and tall. This is where you try to gain some length in your spine. And now curve forward. And demi-plie. And coming up. And now whichever side you didn't stretch first, go that way. And come up. And stretch to the other side. And come up. And now demi-plie. Open the arms to second position. Demi-plie, arms come up to fifth. Straighten the legs. Go into the arch. And now rise. Good. Let's do that one more time, and I'm going to watch to see how you're doing. So here we go. Stretching up nice and tall, and curving forward, and take a plie. Good. And now stretch to one side. And then to the other. Good. Coming up and plie arms first. And then open to second position. Plie, arms go to fifth. Good. Now upper back arch. Bring the arms forward. That's it. Good. And now rise and go up onto the toes as you bring the arms back down to second. Excellent. Good, good. So one thing you want to think about when you do the arch is you're here. Do this with me. Try to think. Let your shoulders relax. So create a lot of space between the shoulder and the ear. So what you want to do when you go back, you don't want to be tense in the shoulders, but go ahead and relax. Use these back muscles that we did at the beginning to relax your shoulders down. And then just, you want to feel a sense of stretching and length here. And then you come back up. But let there be a lot of space here. So you don't want to be too scrunched up. Good. Let's go ahead and do all the same thing, but we're going to do this one in first position. So let me tilt my things so you can see my arms. It's pretty much the same. We just changed the position of our feet to that right angle, first position. So now we're turned out. And then we're just going to go ahead and stretch up nice and tall, just like you just did. Everything is the same except the feet position is a little bit different. When we do this one, we're going to curve just a little bit. So we don't have to go all the way down, just a little bit. We're keeping this part of the body the same. So it's really just this upper torso here that's moving for most of the time. So we're going here and we're bringing just a little curve forward. And then we're going to drop the pelvis underneath us as we plie. And then come up nice and tall. We're going to go to one side. This is this one that we were doing before. Same thing, just the feet are in first. And then stretch to the other side. And then from here, we're going to plie. Open the arms to second position. And up. And straighten. Arms are in fifth. And now we're going to do that upper back arch, relaxing the shoulders. And coming up. And go into releve. Bring the arms down. Good. One more time without me. Here we go. Stretching up nice and tall. So you're going to try to find a little bit of length through the torso. Standing up nice and tall. And curving forward. And plie. Good. And coming up nice and tall. And you're going to tilt to one side. Stretch. Modern dance uses the torso a lot, so you'd be glad to stretch out your waist. Nice, so that you won't hurt and use those muscles without stretching them out first. And now go ahead and demi-plie in first. And open the arms. And plie, arms fit. Good. That's it. And upper back arch. Arms come forward. Good. I'll bring the arms up and hit your releve and bring the arms down. Good. Now we're going to go to second position. Show me second position. That's it. Excellent. Good. So second position, we're stepping in that wide a stance as you can do and still bend your knees. And here we go. Stretching up nice and tall. Arms are the same. Curve forward just above the waist and demi-plie. And coming up and go to the side. And to the other side. And now we come straight and we're going to plie in first, open the arms to second. And plie, arms go to fifth. Straight legs and upper back arch. Use the belly muscles. And now just do an easy rise. Doesn't have to be too high. Good. I find that one, shake out your legs and arms a little bit, because I find that one a little bit strenuous. I find that with my legs further apart like that, I have to work those inner thigh muscles a little harder, especially when I do releve. Let's do that one more time all together. Stretching up nice and tall. And curving forward, demi-plie. And nice tall spine. Now stretch to the other side. And stretch to the opposite side. And now plie first position, open the arms second. And plie. And straighten the legs. And upper back arch. And now this time you're going to go into releve. Keep those arms in front of you. See if you can hold. See if you can stay up there for a little while with the arms in second. Use the belly muscles. And then stay as long as you can and then relax. How was that? Oh, some of you are still there. Awesome. Yay, Sam. Good. Awesome. How was that? Tell me how that went for you. Anything confusing? Go ahead and grab your water and take a quick sip if you need to. Any questions? Do you feel kind of warmed up?
Yeah.
A little bit? Okay, good. Let's do, I think what we'll do is next we're going to do a exercise that's a Cunningham exercise. Do you remember in the video the guy named Merce Cunningham? He was the one who looked kind of like an elf a little bit.
Yeah.
So this is Merce Cunningham. We're going to do something called a C curve. And I love to tell people you can remember the C curve as Cunningham, Merce Cunningham. So that's what we're going to focus on this one. But before we do that, I think we should stretch out our quadricep muscles. So stand up. And you might want to grab a piece of furniture if that works for you. And let me see if I can get back a little further so you can see me better. And I'm going to bend one leg and bring it up like this. So I'm trying to bring my foot almost as if I were kicking myself in the butt. And I'm going to try to keep it parallel straight up and down. Let me just tilt this forward a little bit so you can see me better. So the idea is to keep it, not to let it wander out too much, because then it's almost like a doggy at a fire hydrant. So we want to keep the knees together and pull. That way you get a much better stretch in the front of the thigh, which is your quadricep muscle. And that one tends to get very, very tight. Let's switch legs. So whichever one you didn't do the other one. And again, you're going to try and keep the knees parallel to one another. Good, that looks great. And I tend to stretch a little bit here and there throughout the class just because my muscles get very, very tight. Probably others do too. All right, so we'll go ahead and work on the C curve, which is the Merce-Cunningham technique, and then we'll do the whole exercise that goes with it. So a C curve, there's different kinds of curves you can do in positions with the pelvis. So the C curve is where you bring the arm in to a curve and you bring the pelvis underneath you, like this. So you want to make the shape of a C with your body. So I have my knees bent, my arm is bent, and I'm curving so that my pelvis is underneath my shoulders. So come back to straight. And now you can switch sides, use the other arm, and bring everything into a curve. Yeah, and Nikki, you don't want to bring the back, but bring it forward. So I don't know if you can see my torso, but I'm bringing my head and I'm curving my upper back as well forward like this. Yeah, bring your head down a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's it. Good. So that's the C curve. So that's C for Merce-Cunningham. We're going to do a couple of different ones. We're going to do one where we go just the upper back. So this one is just the upper back. We're not curving the pelvis under. And then we're going to come back and we're going to go, so I'm doing that forward towards you. Same arm stays up in the air. I'm going to try and get back so you can see my arms. And I'm going to go to the side, just like we were curving the body at the beginning in the plies that we just did. Now I'm going to use my abdominals and reach this arm through. And then the last thing I'm going to do is that C curve that we just did where we curved the arm forward. And I'm bringing the head into a curve as well. So I'm actually seeing the floor right now. Then this arm goes up and over and curves just the upper back. So this one doesn't get the pelvis involved yet. And then I go to straight positions, stretching and lengthening. And I go to the side. And now I'm going to reach through, and I'm really going to try and reach the hands out as much as I can, and then bring it back and go for the C curve. And that's the one with the pelvis coming under. That's the most curved one. And then that arm, and we can repeat it over and over and over again. That arm comes forward. We go here. Then going a little faster, going to the side. Reach through, and C curve. Same arm goes up and over. This is the upper back curve forward, just the upper back above the waist. Go to the side, reach through, and then curve forward. Can you do that once without me? I want to be able to watch you, but I'm too far away to see you. Here we go. I'll do the upper body with you. Stay standing, curve forward, just the upper back. And now go to the side. Reach through. Reach, reach, reach. And now from here, go into the C curve. And now same arm goes up and over. This one's my left. Curving forward with the upper back. Good. Bring it up nice and straight. Go side. And then the other side. Excellent. That's it, Sam. Good. And now into the C curve. Beautiful, Brianna. Good. Excellent. So that's a little Cunningham exercise that we'll build on with each class. Do you feel tight? Do your muscles feel tight somewhere? Legs and arms? Just shake everything out. Maybe do we want to do another quad stretch? I know I could use one. Why don't we take a quick break, go get some water, stay visible so that I can take attendance, which I forgot to do at the beginning. take a moment and do whatever stretch you want, and then we'll continue with some stuff across the floor. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab my pen and sheet. Boy, this makes it a lot easier than when I had to memorize names because your names are right there. It's a little easier for me. Okay, perfect. How many of you have ever done a triplet? Awesome, Brianna, good. So a triplet is a step with your feet, and in this case, we're gonna you do a pattern, a walking pattern across the floor where you go down, up, down. And I'll show you what that looks like. So basically, you're gonna start with a lunge, and you're gonna go up into releve, and then back into a lunge. So you're gonna travel across the floor that way. Let's stand up on our feet, and we're gonna do a little warm up for that, which is just a sort of plie releve thing. So we're gonna do this in first position. Get the right angle here. So what we're gonna do a plie into releve, and plie, and releve, and plie, and releve. Now we're going to do it all in one step. We're going to go plie right up to releve, and do that a couple of times, just to warm up our Achilles to do this triplet across the floor. Good, just go ahead and shake out your feet. So what you're going to do, and you can figure out in your space whether you want to travel forward, toward the camera, sideways, whatever works in your space. You're going to do lunge on the right leg, step into releve on the left, and I'm in releve in both feet. Then you're going to do a plie. So what that looks like when you're traveling, actually, you know what? I'm going to change it. We're going to go down, up, up. So we're going to go down, up, up. Then we're going to switch legs and go down on the left and up, up. I'll try to do it directly towards you so you can see it better. I hope you can see me back there. So I'm lunging on the right and going up, up on the left. Lunging on the left and going up, up on the right. So it switches legs. So I go from right to left. That kind of keeps us in balance. So I'm going to lunge on the right and go up, up. Lunge on the left and go up, up. Lunge forward on the right and go up, up. Lunge and go up, up. How are you doing? That one's a little confusing. Raise your hand if you're totally lost. Raise your hand if you're totally confused. You're all good. Okay, you're a little bit confused. Okay, so the best way to think of it is down, up, up. You're gonna go forward, down, up, up. You're just taking 3 steps. Then you go down and up, up in releve. It's so hard to show it and travel at the same time. So it's down, up, up. So it's lunge, walk. Yeah, that's it. Good. That looks good. So go ahead and figure out whichever spot. We're going to bring our arms to second position like this, just for balance. And let me tilt this up so you can see my arms. So our arms are going to be out like this, and this will just help our balance a little bit. So here we go, all together. Down, up, up. Down, up, up. Down, up, up. Down, up, up. Good, that's it, exactly. Good. Let's go the other way, whichever way that is for you. I'm going to turn around and go this way. Maybe it'll be easier to see it from the back. Here we go, and down, up, up. Down, up, up. Down, up, up. Down, up, up. How did that go? Can I watch you do it once? Here we go. Ready? And down, up, up. That's it. Good. Down, up, up. Down, up, up. Excellent. You have it. Good, good. For those of you, how many, raise your hand if you've done this before. Okay, good, Brianna. So Brianna, feel free to take it into a turn if you want to. You can get fancy with it. It's totally fine because I know you want to have a good challenge. Let's try it a couple more times. I think you've got it without me. Here we go. Ready? And down, up, up. Down, up, up. Down, up, up. Down, up, up. Good. That looks great. Now go ahead and go at your own pace. So if you want to go a little faster, feel free. If you want to take it into a little bit of a turn, this is where you kind of get to do your own thing. You can do that if you want to. Have a little fun with it. Just stick with the down, up, up. Here we go. And ready, down, up, up. Go at your own tempo. Nice. Yeah, Tiani, good. Give it a try. Even if you're not sure, just go for it. Have fun with dancing around your living room. Enjoy yourself.
When you do a turn, is it supposed to be only 2 steps? Like 2, because when I do a turn, I usually do 1 and 2.
That's a pirouette in ballet. This one, what I'm doing is I'm taking the releve steps and turning, and the lunge, the first down, the lunge is a little bit of a preparation to send myself forward. So if I do the turn, what I'm doing is I'm going here and I'm stepping both releve steps in a circle. Exactly. Yep, that's it. Good. Good. Try it one more time before we finish. Go ahead and just have fun with the down, up, up. You can step in every direction you want. You can turn or not. It's up to you. Ready and go. Oh, I see the dog. Cute. Awesome. Good, good. So have a little fun with that. We'll practice the turning one a little bit more next week. So you can play around with that a little bit. Just remember to go down, up, up, and you can use your arms. When we do the turning, we're going to bring the arms in this first position, close and open. This will help us in our turning, because this round position is the most aerodynamic position for turning. So that'll help us a little bit. I'll show you how that works when you're standing up. I hope you can see my arms from there. So it gives me a little momentum to come around. So the arms can help you with that. We'll work on that a little bit more next week. Let's take a little time. That's the main part of our class today. We're gonna go kind of easy these first few weeks. Let's do a little bit of cool down stretching now. So we're gonna start standing, and we're gonna stretch our quad. Use this hand for balance, and again, keep those legs parallel. If you squeeze your glute muscles, which is right under the butt, you'll get a little bit more of a stretch. So use those glute muscles to help you stand up and to give you a better stretch. And then we're going to take this into a lunge back. So I'm bending my left leg and I'm coming forward. And that gets our psoas just a little bit more at the end here. And then bring this under. I don't know if you can see that. Let me angle this. So we're here, and we're going to bring this leg underneath us and sit up nice and tall. And we've got, what I have is I have one leg over the top and one leg underneath me. I'm going to twist in the direction that top leg is going, toward the foot. And twist a little bit around. And then reverse it and twist the other way. And now let's go ahead and bring both legs forward. And we'll do some of the stretches we did at the beginning. We can push the stretch a little bit more now that our muscles are really warm. It's always tricky in the beginning with the muscles being kind of cold. You want to kind of stretch them a little more. So if you were here, reach a little further. See if you can go a little bit further now that your muscles feel warm. And let's go ahead and reach across to the right. And reach across to the left. And reach across to the right. And if you can keep the legs straight, lift it up, but only if you can keep the legs straight. And then go ahead and reach across to the left. And again, lift it if you can keep it straight. If not, that's okay. It's a process, and each week, you'll get a little more limber, so it takes time. And bring the leg down, and now put the soles of your feet together. And go ahead and reach forward, just walk the hands out. And you can bring the legs a little bit out if you need to, that's okay, whatever feels the most comfortable. Walk it back whenever you're ready, and we'll go ahead and do a little side stretch. And I'm putting a little bit of weight on that elbow that I'm leaning toward. And going the other way. And let's go ahead and bring the hands behind, give it a nice stretch behind. And if you get a chance this week, think about that doorway stretch and doing the goalpost arms, squeezing the scapula together and keeping your pectoral muscles nice and loose. And I think we'll stop there. So that was our first full class. How did it go for you? Any questions? Good. Awesome. Good, Victoria. Good. So if you're new today, Victoria, Song, and Christy, stick around. I want to just go over the syllabus with you. I'm going to end a little early today. So everybody else can go, and thank you so much. Good job, everybody. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Yay. And so I'll see you same time next week, and I'll see you get your assignments on Friday morning at 9 a.m. Good
Yes.
work.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Take care.
You too.
Professor,
Have a good week.
Professor,
Yes.
did you got the first assignment?